Hey there guys, Mooky here, and I'm back with another part of What If Izuku Had a Job Class Quirk. This is part 3. In the last part, Izuku took part in the entrance exam and basically showed off his skills of his job class quirk, and also helped out Uraraka with her, wounds during the entrance exam as well, with her actually taking somewhat of a liking to Izuku. Anyway, with that said, let's get into this. As a couple days have gone by, Izuku hasn't heard anything from UA, as he's actually worried if he even got in or not. Well, actually, he believes he already knows he got in. It's just that the anticipation is kind of killing him in a bit. But it doesn't really look like he's worried too much from the outside. From the inside, he's a worried mess. Anyway, as days go by, as he finished up Kendo practice and plans on heading back home and prepare to change into his work clothes, as it's just a normal night of him just working as a dishwasher as normal. As his shift finally ends and they finally close up, he heads back home. As he's heading to the train station, on the way there, he soon is seeing that a couple of heroes are fighting against some villains, as it seems like the heroes are struggling quite a bit, as the villains have, a hostage. Well, two hostages actually. The hostages being a man that looks like in his mid-20s, and a woman also looking like she's in her mid-20s. As the one holding them is a villain with a arm, looks like he has giant arms, possibly a body expansion quirk or something. As the other two, as one of the other villains look like somewhat of a wolf, and the other one looking like he's dressed up as a pirate and carrying somewhat of like a cannon on his arm. And soon saying, if you don't want these two bystanders getting hurt, you let us go, and we'll let them go soon, possibly, if we're guaranteed our safety. As the two hostages are basically freaking out, as Izuku's saying, you gotta be kidding me. Looking at the heroes, I can tell they got quirks that can handle a situation like this, but they're not doing anything. As he feels a bit annoyed about heroes not doing shit. So what does he do? He basically switches to his gunner class and has his pistol out. Soon he says skill, lock on, as his vision begins to change as he locks on to his targets, being the three villains, and then says skill, triple shot. Soon, he fires multiple energy-based magic shots right at the villains, with every one of them getting knocked back, and the villain that was holding the two hostages let go, falling on the ground, as the two hostages ran away to the heroes. As soon, the three heroes that were standing by doing nothing ran to them and says, well, you have no idea what that is. Possibly a hero asked to help out, so let's take advantage of this. As they go to arrest him with no problems whatsoever, as one of the villains say, "How? Who the hell?" Being the wolf villain, he looks at Izuku, who still has his gun up, and soon transforms back into his normal form, saying, "Hey, you bastard, get back here!" As the heroes look behind them and don't see anyone. They don't even see Izuku. As Izuku's saying, seriously, how pathetic can people be nowadays? Seriously, I mean, I still respect heroes more than anything. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like today's heroes are so damn lazy. I know All Might being the symbol of peace has basically brought down crime, but still, think about the innocent people that are suffering and not doing anything. Hell, I can believe some of those villains had no choice to be villains, either due to financial problems or other things. As Izuku thinks is saying, the hero society we live in isn't perfect, one bit. Not only that, good heroes nowadays is hard to come by, especially heroes who actually want to be heroes to help people and save others. Well, who knows? Maybe I can possibly change their minds if I can become the #1 hero, as Izuku thinks this, and soon laughs out loud, saying, yeah, right, like I can surpass All Might. No way in hell. I'm getting too arrogant for my own good. As soon he looks at his phone, and then realizes, oh crap, I better get back home before Mom gets worried about me. As he soon heads through an alleyway, which would be a shortcut for him, as he's almost out of the alleyway nearing the train station. He soon stops midway and saying, just because you can erase your presence doesn't mean your bloodlust is hard to sense. After saying this, he soon turns around, and right in front of him is a girl with blonde hair and looks like has messy buns as a hairstyle, wearing somewhat of a school uniform. As Izuku saying, I'm not surprised when girls basically follow me and somewhat chase after me. It's kind of normal for me nowadays. But for a female villain to do it, now that's actually a first for me, if I'm going to be honest. With Izuku saying this with somewhat of a, concerned smile in a way, as saying, "Aw, I only followed you because I thought that you would be fun. After all, I did see you take care of those villains. And not only that, the way you look, you look like you would be fun to see bleed." As Izuku's saying, so you're here to kill me or mug me. I'm most likely going to think you're going to do the first option. Am I right? And she just nods for yes. As Izuku's saying, all right then. Fine then. Let's take care of this. I need to get back home before my mom worries. As he throws his bag onto the side and soon says, War Monk. And then morphs into his War Monk class, saying, oh, what an interesting quirk. I wonder how your blood would taste. As she soon pulls out a knife from out of her sleeve, and rushes at Izuku. With Izuku conjuring his new gauntlets, being Tyrant Gauntlets. These gauntlets allow Izuku to move a lot more faster and deal way much more damage. It also has a special ability. It increases the damage of his skills if he can hit his opponent's weak spots without knowing where they are. However, the chances of this happening is only 8%, which is pretty okay. As Izuku and the female villain rush at each other, Izuku tried using one of his skills, saying, Force Paw! As a huge gust of wind comes right at the villain, with her actually seeing this coming and moves out of the way, with Izuku planned on hitting her with a kick to her gut. And soon she flips over Izuku, and as Izuku's saying, she's able to flip all over me? Wait, she must have taken somewhat of gymnastics. Man, I gotta figure this out quick. As next up, he soon says, Thunder Kick! As electricity begins going around Izuku's legs, and soon tries to kick the female villain as well, with strikes as she dodges each and every one of them. She soon backflips back, and as she thinks, this is seriously a lot of fun, I can't wait to drink. As soon as she brings her head up, and soon sees Izuku about to punch her, as she was sent a little bit flying. However, Izuku didn't stop there, as he soon has a rushes of punches and kicks to her, and then knocking her to the side of the alleyway's wall, as she soon spits up a little bit of blood, saying, "What? I didn't think you were that," and saying, "Just another one of my skills, that's all. It's called Wolf's Fury. Basically a barrage of punches and kicks, moving faster. Unfortunately, Fortunately, it doesn't deal a lot of damage. It just deals quite a bit of rapid damage. That's all. Depending on the equipment I have, I get stronger." Saying, "You're telling me all of this? Why?" Saying, I got 3 options. 1, I can just leave you here and leave you for the authorities. 2, I can kill you right now. Or 3, tell me why you were after me and why a girl like you became a villain." As she's surprised hearing this from Izuku, as he began thinking, crap. Somebody must have called the police here. I would have left you. I wanted to leave before they got here. And you still haven't answered my questions. So you're coming with me. As Izuku grabs her by her collar, is saying, "Wait, what are you?" And soon jumps up to a couple buildings that were right beside them in the alleyway. Soon switches to his Dragoon class and subclass, and moves to many other buildings to keep the police off their trail, with them heading to on the top of an abandoned building's rooftop. And he soon sets her down and saying, "I won't heal you unless you tell me why you became a villain and why a girl like you is wanting to kill people for their blood. Unless you tell me this, I won't send you to the police, or I won't kill you off the bat. So, explain yourself." And saying, "You seriously won't kill me if I tell you? And you won't give me to the police either?" Saying, "I promise. However, it depends on your answer though." And after this, she soon stands up, a little bit shaken and with wobbly knees, saying, "It's simple. I became a villain because I'm on the run from an accident that I did a couple months ago, actually." As you saying, "All right, go on." As soon she explained that her name is Himiko Toga, and that she's always had a fascination when it came to blood, thinking that things that are bleeding are kind of cute. However, her parents didn't like that, and actually told her to suppress the certain urges and try and live a normal life. But she couldn't, as her urges kept getting stronger and stronger, until one day she confessed her love to a boy that she liked before actually killing him and drinking his blood. Soon one of her classmates saw her, and after that, Toga has been on the run ever since. Soon after, she began giving in to her urges more and more by killing people and drinking their blood more and more, making her a villain in the making. As Izuku hears this, he can't help but feel sorry for her after everything she's gone through. And even though it was an accident, she still ended up killing him. As he soon began coming into thoughts and saying, "Tell me, what is your quirk?" Saying, "My quirk? It's called transform. I'm able to transform people depending on how much blood I have. However, I don't take on their memories or have their quirk or anything like that. Just their appearance and voice and figure. That's all. However, they have to have the same kind of size and appearance as me. I can't do anyone bigger, smaller, or taller than me, after all." As he's saying, then that explains it. The reason that you killed him wasn't just because you cared about him. It's because of your quirk. As she's saying, "Wait, what?" It's not surprising. It's pretty common actually nowadays. Certain quirks can cause people to have can be emotionally unstable more than they already were. Not only that, it could even cause them to become violent, suppress their emotions, and other things. Is saying, how do you know this? Saying, well, mostly because I'm suffering from the same thing. My quirk is pretty overpowered, as you can tell, but it comes at a cost. The stronger I get, the more my emotions become numb to me. Others believe that I'm just pretty, cool-headed, keep things calm and I'm always ready for anything to happen, which is true and not true at the same time. The more my quirk gets stronger, the more my emotions become stunted, and I can't express how I truly feel to people, how I feel about them. It's kind of sad, really, to become this strong, but at the cost of your emotions. I hate it. I hate it so much, but it's necessary. It's the only thing that's necessary to allow me to become a hero, to allow me to save others, to protect innocent people from villainy. And I also realized villains are probably suffering from the same thing I am, and the same as you, Toga-chan. As hearing this, saying, Toga-chan? Wait, why would you say, tell me, are you real? If I let you go, knowing you most likely might go after somebody else, beat or kill them for their blood. And is that true? Saying, well, most likely, yeah. As she says this with a pretty confident smile, as Izuku sighs and soon smiles himself, saying, okay then, come at me. Beat and stab me as much as you want. Drain as much of my blood as you need. I will take all your desires and bear them myself. You won't have to do that alone. As she's saying, why? Why would you do that? A normal person wouldn't. Saying, yeah, that's right. I'm not normal anymore. And besides, a hero's job is to help everybody. Not just civilians or their fellow heroes. Even villains who are suffering too, after all. As she soon blushes and soon says, are you really sure about this? As she doesn't even know his name, as she's saying, oh, right, I haven't even introduced myself, haven't I? My name is Izuku Midoriya. Back then, a lot of people used to call me Deku for useless, because I didn't have a quirk back then. However, a couple years ago, my quirk just manifested, and now I finally have the strength to become the hero I've always wanted to be, but at the cost of who I used to be as well. So, even if I lose my emotions, even if I lose my feelings, my ideals and my conviction of wanting to become a hero will never change. And that is a fact. I'll save everyone, even people like me, just like you, Toga-chan. As soon, she just cried. Toga just cries and drops her knife as she runs to Izuku and soon cries in his arms as Izuku's saying, it's all right. Just let it all out. I'm here. I'm here for you. Soon, a couple 30 minutes have passed, and soon Izuku's saying, hey, are you staying anywhere? And saying, no, I'm not. Saying, well, I think I could think of a place that you could probably stay for a bit. At least, unless you're willing to go back home. Because knowing the cops, and knowing what you did, they may be willing to actually throw you in prison, even though it was an accident. And also about all the other stuff that you've done as well. As saying, yeah, that's probably a case. Is Suki saying, follow me. As she soon just actually holds on to Izuku, saying, where do you did say follow you. However, I can't, well, Izuku saying, oh, right. Soon he switches to his Dragoon class and jumps off the building. As he heads back home with Toga, as his mother was kind of worried for him, but also was more shocked that Izuku brought home a girl to their place, especially after getting off work. So yeah, Izuku began creating a story for Toga, the reason why he brought her here and everything, about her, mostly just about her being a runaway from abusive parents and stuff like that. And just giving her a place to stay for the time being until she finds a place of her own after all. As Inko is kind of hesitant, but also feels that she can't just leave somebody that Izuku wants to help on the streets, especially if she's a runaway. As Inko basically allows Toga to stay at their place temporarily, as Toga thanks Izuku and hugs him quite a bit, as Izuku doesn't really blush at all because he's actually used to girls hugging him, mostly the girls who really wanted Izuku to be their boyfriend from his fan club after all, and admirers too. But still, he can't help but actually smile when Himiko hugs him after all. As soon a couple days have passed with Himiko actually staying with Izuku and his mother, as she does have the urges to want to stab and basically drain a person's blood. However, Izuku still offers to do so for her, which she is a little tempted to do so, but she wants to actually change for Izuku after all, so she doesn't, and wants to find better outlooks and ways to suppress her urges and quirk, to basically want to stab and drink somebody's blood after all. With Izuku actually being impressed about Himiko wanting to change quite a bit, so he wanted to find a way to find maybe quirk suppressors in a way. However, due to Japan's laws on quirk drugs being outlawed, even quirk suppressing drugs too, he knows it's not going to be easy for Himiko and for himself as well, knowing this. Soon, one day, as Izuku comes back from, archery practice and actually eats dinner with both Inko and also Himiko as well, he looks into one of the mailboxes and sees that he finally has a letter from UA. He grabs the letter, and also Himiko is actually surprised about Izuku actually applied for UA and has a letter, because Izuku never told her that the school that he plans on applying to become a hero was UA after all. With Izuku opening the envelope and doesn't see any paper or anything like that, but is actually a hologram disc. As soon it activates, as Izuku lays it on his desk in his room, with Himiko actually being there in his room too, with a picture of All Might appearing, with Izuku's eyes begin widening with that of excitement, with hologram All Might saying, "Izuku Midoriya, I, All Might, wish to express my gratitude for taking part of the UA entrance exam. For the written exam, you did quite well for yourself. It seems like you made part of the top 5 in the entrance exam, in the written parts of the entrance exam. Well done. However, it's for the practical exam that we're truly impressed. You were able to defeat multiple robots and gain 70 villain points, which is pretty impressive actually, which would have placed you at least in 3rd place. With Izuku thinking to himself, 3rd place? Really? Well, I guess it makes sense. After lecturing people, I should have put more of my time trying to gain more points in the process. However, there was more to the exam than just taking down villains. There was also hero points as well. Hero points being rescue points. Depending if you see a participant of the entrance exam struggling with a robot, helping them out, saving as many people as you can, or getting them out of danger. Like, for example, this video, as soon he sees a video of Ochako and speaking to President Mike about how Izuku basically came to save her and didn't have enough points in the time, believing that Izuku should have more points for saving her and wanting to give half of her points to Izuku, with President Mike saying, "That's great that you're willing to do so, but you have nothing to worry about after all." And saying, "Why do you say that?" Soon the video ends with All Might saying, each of the teachers were looking at many other participants, that they were the ones judging on rescue points. You saved multiple people and helped them out when they were struggling, gaining you at least 20 rescue points. However, with you defeating the zero pointer, destroying it, and also helping out the girl, healing her wounds in the process, you also gained 870 hero points. Adding that in total, gaining you at least 90 rescue points. Adding that to your already 70 villain points. Adding that all together, and you get 160 points. Almost getting close to beating my personal record when I took part in the entrance exam. And placing you at least first place in the entirety of the entrance exam. As Izuku saying, "Wait, really? I gained that many points?" As Izuku was shocked and surprised. If anything, and not only that, even Toga was surprised, as she knew that Izuku was strong, but she didn't know that Izuku was this strong. With All Might saying, "You gained first place, showing your strength, skill, and ability. And for that, I believe that you truly deserve this top spot. So allow me to welcome you, young man, to your Hero Academia." As soon the hologram ends, as Himiko saying, "That's great, Izu, you did it." As Izuku doesn't say anything, with Himiko saying, Izuku, are you?" Is saying, I can't cry. I'm glad. I'm so overjoyed, but I can't cry. I guess this is what happens when I have about my quirk. I don't feel anything. Nothing at all. This is supposed to be the happiest moment of my life. The most joyous moment of my life. Getting in the school of my dreams. So why? Why the hell can I not cry tears of joy? With Izuku feeling frustrated and feeling like the most happiest moment of his life, it feels meaningless to him. As Himiko hugs him, and even Inko was surprised and shocked. As Himiko tells Inko that Izuku made it to UA, but Izuku doesn't feel anything about it. With soon the next day, Izuku heads back to school. As the day goes on, soon Izuku and Bakugo were called by their teacher to meet him in his office, with them actually shocked and surprised, wondering if they did anything wrong. Well, maybe Bakugo, but not Izuku. As the day ends, both of them head to the teacher's office, with Bakugo saying, "What the hell did you do, Deku?" Saying, "I don't know. It's probably about UA after all." Saying, "What? Why do you think that?" "Oh, nothing. It's just a hunch. That's all." As they open the door, and their homeroom teacher is there, saying, Well, Bakugo, Midoriya, I'm really proud of both of you. I didn't think that many of us teachers didn't think that many of our students would actually go to UA, but you two proved us wrong. Midoriya, for example, I always thought that you had the chance to go to UA, but I didn't think that you could make it there. And you, Bakugo, you really did prove us wrong, and many of your classmates too. You two truly deserve to go to UA. We're looking forward. We're knowing us, we see great things in both of you guys' future. So take care out there. As Izuku bows and says, thank you. Thank you very much. With Bakugo saying, yeah, thanks. As they both leave, Bakugo grabs Izuku by his shoulder and says, hey, Deku, meet me out, as Izuku saying, I know what you're going to say, and basically puts his hand off of his shoulder, and Izuku tells him, meet me in the Kendo Club when the school grounds are about to close. I have free reign to go into the Kendo Club because I'm the captain after all. So I'll be waiting there. So don't be late. As Izuku walks off and heads back to their homeroom class, Bakugo saying, what the hell? Is he seriously thinking about facing against me? One-on-one to settle this? As soon a couple hours have gone by, and with a few late night clubs actually still around, with Izuku finishing up art club and getting the keys for the Kendo Club's training room, as Izuku unlocks the door and waits in there. With 10 minutes later, Bakugo is already there. As Izuku was finishing up sending a text to both his mom and to Himiko, as saying, well, I expect about time you showed up, Kachan. So, ready to finish this? As saying, why the hell did you call me here? Was it to fight? Saying, yeah, we only have a month before we finally enroll into UA. So, and I knowing you're going to basically hold this over me, feel insecure, and basically want to try anything you can to beat me. That's just who you are, Kachan. We grew up together for so long, I know you inside and out. Saying, you don't know a damn thing about me. It's you that I don't understand. How was somebody who was born quirkless end up getting a quirk just a couple months ago and became this damn strong? And not only that, to be so damn popular with everyone. It pisses me off. Somebody like you, somebody who was weak, pathetic, and useless, turned into this. You're not the Deku I know. So who the hell really are you? As Izuku's saying, that's because I'm not Deku anymore. I'm Izuku Midoriya. I'm no longer the weak kid I once was. So, I'm going to show you who I am now. I'm going to show you what I am now, and what my quirk has turned me into. As Izuku stands up and soon says, War Monk, and changes into his War Monk class, as he soon pulls out his bow staff and says, Iron Staff, as Izuku swings it around his sides and says, you ready for this, Kachan? Because we're the only ones in this club, and this club was made to take on a couple people's quirks in case of an emergency. So, if you do go, so it's okay for us to go all out. You ready? As saying, Deku, bring it on! I'm gonna take you down, you damn nerd! As soon, the two stare each other down as they rush at one another. And that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please tell me what you guys think in the comments below. And I hope you guys enjoyed the little change that I added to this about Izuku's quirk. And I remember I said that I wanted to make Izuku's quirk have a negative side effect to his emotions. Now you guys know the full extent on what happens when Izuku makes his quirk stronger and promotes to other classes. He begins losing pieces of himself. However, is still able to keep his ideas on what it truly means to be a hero intact, though. Because, of course, that's what I truly love about Izuku. So, yeah. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Also, like and subscribe, which really helps the channel. Check out my gaming channel, which I'll probably leave in the description below. And also, I'll probably put a link to my Discord if you guys have any what-ifs to suggest or just want to talk and hang out. At any rate, this is Mooky, signing out. Later.